One of the most common words you hear nowadays in personal development is alignment. And I think a lot of people use it, and I'm convinced that a lot of people don't know what it actually means. Like a lot of things. We say it, we think about it, but we don't actually know what it means or how to do it. We're going to talk about alignment.
One of the reasons a lot of people don't achieve their goals as quickly as they want to is because they are off course a lot of the time. I've talked about the 1 in 60 rule. I used to coach, now Emilia does, a airline pilot. Shout out to you if you're out there listening. But there's the 1 in 60 rule, where if you are 1 degree off course in an airplane, when you're 60 miles down the way, for lack of better phrasing, you're actually a mile off course. So with our goals, it's the same way. If you spend a lot of the time out of alignment, you're going to take a lot longer to get to your goals.
Next Level Nation today for episode number 2021. What does alignment actually mean? The reason we're laughing is because Alan and I are very close to having mental breakdowns.
I'm laughing because that intro was not great.
It was hot garbage. It was. Down the way.
Down the way. Oh, man. Better luck next time.
What does alignment actually mean? I was actually thinking of an episode like this, but you want to go kind of in a different direction than I do, so I'm just going to kick it to you, and then we'll see where we end up.
Well, so I was on with a client not long ago. I've been doing this with team members, clients. It's kind of a new distinction for me. I realized that obviously everyone out there who's a long-term listener, you know that I'm big on measuring things, metrics, numbers. And for the new listeners, this will be new to you, but there's 2 different types of measurements that I use, and I wanted to be as clear as I could with the team members and with the people I coach about the difference between the 2. So I pulled up whiteboard. I'm going to try to articulate this the best that I can, hopefully better than I did in the intro. Wow. So on the left side of the screen, picture A to B, an arrow, and that's what I'm referring to as a destination measurement. In other words, if you're a 6 out of 10, Kev, you still have 4 to go.
6 out of 10 in terms of alignment with goal.
No.
Alignment
destination
with
measurement. If let's say you want to do 10 pounds in 10 weeks, let's say you're 6 weeks in and you're 6 pounds down, you're at a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
So it's a destination measurement, meaning you still have 4 weeks to go, 4 more pounds to go. Okay. So if I said 0 to 10, how aligned are you? That's a different measurement. This is an alignment measurement.
Okay.
An alignment measurement is more, okay, here's picture the bottom of the page is past Kevin. The middle of the page is current Kevin. And the top of the page is best self future Kevin. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then put from past Kevin to current Kevin squiggly lines up, down, sideways, all the way. You ever see that thing in success? People think success is a straight line and it's actually all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Picture that. Because the problem with our goals and dreams and our highest self is we're out of alignment a lot of the time. Okay. Now picture current Kevin with best future Kevin, and then picture a straight line up. That would be a 10. If you're out of alignment, let's say your goal is 10 pounds in 10 weeks. Awesome. Okay, so let's say you're eating in a caloric surplus. You're not going to the gym. You're out of alignment. Okay, how many degrees off are you? Are you 30 degrees off? Are you 50 degrees off? Are you 180 degrees? So it's kind of like a compass. This is a compass measurement.
I'd have to take out my protractor.
Well, the true north is full alignment. That would be a 10 out of 10. If you're 30 degrees off, let's call that a 7 out of 10. And so when I ask my clients, okay, so for you, one of the things that you track is fitness. I asked you this recently. How in alignment are you in fitness? 0 to 10.
9 out of 10.
Now, that doesn't mean that his goal is a 10 and he's at a 9 in terms of destination, in terms of distance. It means that you're in alignment with your best Kevin, your best self, your goals and dreams. And I think that the only thing missing now is time. So as a coach, it's my job to be the compass to help you align with your best self and then create milestones and goals in alignment with that.
Here's a really good thought. Are you ever really 10 out of 10 aligned? 10 out of 10 aligned? Because you can't be, because you don't know what 10 out of 10 alignment is until you get there and realize, until you get to the next level beyond it and realize it wasn't optimal.
Yep. So, and that's a consciousness thing.
That's an asymptote?
Yes. Did
That's
you see the post I did today?
No. And I'm sorry to disappoint you. I didn't.
Seriously?
No.
Oh.
Look, I'm out here running a global business. Think I have time to be on Facebook looking at your posts? You know what I mean?
All right. I had someone reach out. Your speech is still on my mind. Your psychology is very interesting. I'm doing calc work, and I'm thinking about how you said your ability to fulfill your potential is like an asymptotic function.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I was like, what the hell are they talking about?
Oh, okay. Asymptote.
I knew immediately this must have been somebody from the engineering school.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 100%.
That's good.
No, it was actually from the house down the street. You ever see? This is going to be a throwback.
Let's do it.
The very first American Pie movie. I saw that movie way too young, and I told Amelia, I said, I don't want you to come into my office and see me watching American Pie. So I just told her I'm trying to figure out where my consciousness was when I was like, I think I saw that movie when I was 8 or 9 or 10 or 11. I had an older sister. It was VHS. And I watched it again to see kind of where my head was at. It wasn't that bad, by the way. I thought it was going to be way worse. I really did. It was pretty funny. But anyways, my point is, there's a scene in it where they're showing up to a party, and the band geeks, quote unquote, show up and say, "Hey, we're here for the party." And he's like, "There's no party." And someone comes over with a beer. He's like, "Yeah, party." He's like, "Weird." Try the house down the street.
Was it Sean William Scott that did that?
Yeah.
I can imagine it.
That's what that made me think of.
I can imagine
the house down the street. Okay, so I said this. I'm grateful it's still impacting you. Thank you for reaching out and letting me know. Like I tried to share during the speech, my only hope was to inspire everyone to think differently and to hopefully open their mind up to their own unique potential and their bigger, better, and brighter future that's possible for them. And ultimately, that's what NLU is about, which is, okay, we want to help you be the best version of yourself. Okay, how do we do that? I often ask, okay, if I were to ask Kev, how aligned are you in fitness? You gave me a 9. In this measurement, 10 out of 10 would be the most aligned you've ever been. Would you still give yourself a 9?
Yeah, I'm not the most aligned I've ever been.
Okay. Let's say you did give me a 10. That doesn't mean that you can't get more aligned.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's a matter of time. But then on that journey, you get more awareness. This is why it gets so confusing. Because you're 10, let's say you're 16 again. Your 9 right now would have been a 500 back then.
Yeah.
You didn't know what the hell you were doing, right? You just went in and lifted, did push-ups or whatever.
Never.
So alignment is predicated on consciousness, aka your understanding. Kevin and I have argued in the past about what's more valuable, tactics or deeper understanding. And I always voted for deeper understanding. And the reason why is if I have a new client that I'm about to have, and I'm going to help her get a new career. She's going to sign up for 12 weeks of career development. Awesome. The only reason why I know that I can help her succeed in her career is because I know what business owners are looking for. I know what is needed in the industry. I know how to make her resume and cover letter really good. I know how to help her with interview skills. I have absolute confidence that she's going to crush it. But the only reason I know that is because I've went out and learned all those things through my own experience. And so when you're young, you just don't know anything. So your ability to actually align with your goals and dreams is very minimal.
I still think tactics is the way. I think I have to say that now forever. I can't just come over to your side. We have to have opposite stances on that, I think.
Why? It's just like the teach a man to fish.
Stubbornness mostly, I think.
Well, that's a very deeper understanding of you.
Well, that's the thing. Teach someone to fish or give them a fish. I think you give them a fish while you teach them how to fish. That's my thing. That's what I was like, isn't that the ideal outcome?
Agreed.
So you're
used to be just give a fish.
Yeah, I think it's because I wanted fish given to me.
What do you want now?
More fish given to me. Still,
you're full of it, man.
Well, I tend to be somebody who's very curious, so I use a lot of Google and YouTube for deeper understanding. I mean, you can only get so much, right? That's the thing. And again, this is off on a tangent completely, but there's a lot of tactics out there. I mean, if I'm willing to bet, I don't know the data on this, but I'm willing to bet the most commonly searched thing is probably how to insert anything after how to whatever, how to change a tire, how to blah blah blah. Those are essentially all tactics. So I think that's what most people are looking for, not necessarily what would best serve them.
Well, that's my point, right? Tactics have become commoditized.
Yeah, that's fair.
There was a time back in the day when a computer was a luxury. Now it's a commodity. And in some places it still is a luxury, by the way. I didn't mean to be inconsiderate with that. But, okay, shoes are a commodity. At one point they were brand new and they were a luxury, right? So tactics are a commodity now. You can Google search or chat GPT or whatever. So deeper understanding is more valuable because it's more scarce. When I went and spoke to the engineers last week, that was one thing that was noticeable. It was, okay, you guys just don't understand as much. And I didn't either when I was 20. But because they don't understand it as much, they can't align. You're not going to set a goal that you're not aware you can achieve.
Well, I think that's why goal setting's so hard.
This is a conversation I want to have with you, brother. Seriously, I don't know if we've ever had this conversation before. Maybe we did, but way back. We've talked a lot on the show about self-belief. What if self-belief is just awareness of what is doable?
I think it goes back to the doable, personally doable.
Well, that's awareness still. Because Kevin and I have argued about tactics and deeper understanding. We've argued about self-belief versus awareness. He says knowledge isn't power. I say, well, technically it is if you're aware. What's the difference between knowledge and awareness, right? So, okay, if I'm aware, okay, the reason why you're 10 out of 10 certain you can lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks is because you're aware of exactly how to do it.
Yes, yeah.
What if self-belief is just awareness tied to an individual?
I think it's certainty.
Exactly.
And
that's
control.
why deeper understanding is so powerful. If you know how to build a business, and
but
you know exactly how to do it.
But you still got to do it, though.
But you won't do it unless you know how to do it.
I know, but you got to do it long enough. And I think okay, what do you look for when you get stuck? You look for a tactic. When you get stuck.
No, I look for a deeper understanding of why I'm stuck.
I look for a tactic.
So,
based on a deeper understanding, though.
I'm coaching a 25-year-old. Shout out to you, brother. And I tried to explain the compass thing. I'm his compass. It's not about me telling him where I think he should go. It's about me uncovering what he's capable of, and then helping understand what he values, and then helping him set goals based on his values. And then I'm more aware of how to achieve it than he is because I'm more aware about life. So if you are lost, imagine before a GPS. You go get a map. The map tells you where to go. That's all coaching is. Yeah. I've already done it. And if I haven't, I've certainly helped someone else who has. Real estate, whatever it is. So I'll just be your compass. So if you're not aligned, I can tell better than you can tell. So there have been times in the past where I've come to Kevin and said, hey, brother, like,
of course,
this isn't, you come to me with an idea and you ask, and I appreciate it, very humble. You say, like, is this a terrible idea or is this a good idea? Well, the reason you're asking me is because you're trusting my awareness over your own.
That's a piece of it. I mean, and you're my business partner.
Right.
And you get final say. So it's like, I kind of need your approval. Right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that wasn't always the way it was. Because
yeah, that's fair.
Our combined awareness is better than just mine. My awareness plus yours is much better than just yours.
For sure.
So that's why we have a discussion. That's why we brainstorm. Mm-hmm. And you say, hey, you think this is a good idea? And I say, well, no, because of this, this, and this. You say, well, what about this, this, and this? And I go, oh, I hadn't thought about it. Okay, well, what if we did it this way? That's why it's so powerful because, and again, this is me going back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago, which is collective consciousness. Like, consciousness is a really overused, silly word, but Picture Kevin and I right now, if you're on YouTube, and then picture a collective consciousness above our heads. You and I's consciousness together is much more holistically aware than just yours or just mine.
What is the math behind the sum is greater than, what is it?
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
What is the math behind that?
Multiplication instead of addition.
That's all
so
it
if
is?
I'm a 9 and you're a 7 in consciousness, 9 times 7 is a lot more than 9 plus 7 is basically what that is.
Interesting. Okay.
But why do you ask AI something? AI has collective consciousness.
I usually ask it how. I can see your chats.
Right.
And you can see my chats. I'm willing to bet yours are way more deeper understanding, and mine are all how to.
But how to comes from deeper understanding, brother.
I think what happens for me is I get it.
Hold on, sorry. If you know everything about a car and everything about how it works and how the engine works and how the circuitry works, all of it, you have all the how.
But I think tactics are specific depth. As opposed to going and learning the whole thing about everything, I want to learn one thing about the tire. How do I change a tire? I want to know that. I don't want to know how the whole fucking car works.
Fair.
I want to know how
That's
to
fair.
change the tire.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm on the side of the road. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
I think that...
Okay, that landed. Because time in versus results out, tactics are quick.
Yes.
I'll give you that. Yeah,
I think for
fair.
me, I'm a day-to-day... I want quick. I want perceived progress. And I think tactics are perceived. Because you can go do something, input, output. Didn't work the way I thought it was going to. Okay, why?
But long term, that's holding you back.
Are we assuming that I'm not getting deeper understanding also, though? Because in your end, you're assuming that you're taking action.
Yeah. This goes
fun.
back to theory
this.
versus practice. This is why you're so quick to implement. You don't need to understand the whole thing. You just need to do the next thing.
I think it's better if I don't understand the whole thing, in a way.
Long term, no.
No, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to mess it up. And then I'm going to have to go back and learn more. And I think eventually...
Yeah, there's an optimal stopping problem there. Yeah, absolutely. Theory versus practice. If you are overly theory, you're holding yourself back because you won't get practical experience. But if you're overly just do. This is the ready, fire, aim conversation.
Yeah.
For Kev, he's ready. No, he's just fire. No. Ready, what are you? Ready, fire. Yeah. And I'm aim, or whatever.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it is now. I would be curious to see how it has changed over the years. I think now it's ready, aim, fire.
For me or for you?
For me. I think it's ready, aim, fire, and then there's like a lot of aims after the fire. I have to like re-aim a lot. It's like aim, fire again, aim, fire again. I don't know what. I don't feel like you ever weren't ready, aim, fire.
I was ready, aim, dude, for sure. Took me too long.
Yeah, but
Still
wasn't that because of awareness of it doesn't... Not if it's something like if I said to you, hey, you just gave a speech and you have to send a $10,000 invoice, you're going to do it.
Yeah. I think I was less ready, aim than you originally thought, but definitely more than you. That's why we worked so well together in the beginning. For context, for anyone out there watching or listening, Kev would just take action quick. And I would think a lot about it before taking action.
I think that's a rebel in you, too. Like, anytime somebody told me to do something, I would just go do it. I think for you, the rebel in you, we haven't talked about that in such a long time.
The questioner.
The questioner, the rebel, the appeaser, and the upholder. The Four Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin. Great book. Haven't talked about that. When is the last time we talked about that?
It's been a long
time. I literally just forgot about it until this moment.
Yeah.
That was really cool. But for you, you have like the questioner and the rebel of, why should I do it that way, though?
Oh, big time.
For me, I'll if the person has results that I value, I'll probably go try it at least to see.
Not anymore, though. Now you question it.
Well, now I think everybody's lying, and most of the stuff I see is bullshit, essentially. I mean,
That's the questioner.
Pretty much unfortunately, a lot of like the bright naivete has been beaten out of me at this point. It's like, I don't.
Same.
There was a guy the other day, God, supposedly like the podcast guy who knows how to build brands, and it's like all of his followers are paid for. Every picture and video has the same amount of likes on it. It's because he's paying for all of them. It's like, there's a part of me that just gets so frustrated because it's like you're winning so much right now based on that, but your winning is creating so many other people's losses, most likely. Unfortunately, it makes me sad.
100%.
All right,
makes me sad too.
Let's get back to the topic of alignment.
I liked where all this was going.
I did too. I mean, we could keep going.
Alignment.
We can keep going.
Is the drive to 5. Too much, too little. Too much thinking, and you're avoiding taking action. Too little thinking, and you're just running amok.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Unless you had something powerful to say, you were raising your hand like you did. When you look back, I feel like you and I have different regrets about different things. Is that because you were aware of the thing that you were going to regret at the time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you said on the last episode that you didn't regret getting chunkier, you said chunky. You used the word chunky.
It was just the way you said it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just using your words. I'm not trying to... Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're like, well, no, I was aware of that. How can you be aware of it and not regret it? Like, that was a mistake.
It was intentional. I knew it was happening. Next Level Nation, we are very, very excited to announce that we are doing our first purely virtual Next Level Live on April 5th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alan and myself will be live streaming from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Next Level Live 2025. Be there. It's only $47 for a full day of personal development, self-improvement, holistic health, wealth, life, and love.
We have a global audience. Obviously, if you live somewhere else in the world, it's hard to come across the country or across the world for a one-day event, so we wanted to make sure it was accessible to everyone.
You're not going to get to the next level of your life by default. You're going to get there by design. Join us. Design that next level. I also think that people have a weird relationship with regret, and regret and alignment, I think, are very tied. I think regret is your highest self saying, come on, man. Or woman. Like, come on. People think I beat myself up all the time. I'm telling you right now, my highest self is saying, like, I said this to a client recently, I'm hard on you because I believe in you. No one else gives a shit if you win. I do. I'm here to tell you this because I know what you're capable of. You're capable of so much more than this. I'll never forget it. I was at Cognex back in corporate way back, and I remember I had a close friend of mine in college. His name was John. He said, dude, you're better than this. Like, come on, you're better than that. And I remember being like, oh my God, that's so true. And that hurt, but it was like, good for him. You're absolutely right. I am. And I was letting it ride back then, dude. I wasn't lifting. I just was such a fucking unfulfilled human being.
Did you know you should have been lifting?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Yeah. High awareness. You talk about ignorance being bliss. When you have high awareness, you have a lot of responsibility. When you know how to build a company and you're certain you can do it, do you know how hard it is not to do it?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's brutal.
That wasn't where I started from.
Yeah. That's why it's so hard for me to let my best be in my past, because I do know it's possible. I'm certain it's possible. I can get back to where I was. I'm certain. Now, what it's going to require of me, in tandem with being a great husband and a great father one day, and, you know, a great business partner, great business owner, that's a whole nother level. I mean, back then, fitness model, fitness competitions, and fitness coaching was my life. So now it's going to be a lot more difficult. in that sense. But I know it's possible, so I can't give up on it yet. One of the things that's really hard about awareness, when you know something is doable for you and you're certain that you can do it and that you have it in you, it's very hard to give up on yourself. It eats at you. Like, think of something that would eat at you if you didn't do it. Like, if you treated Taryn poorly, that would eat at you. Why? Because you know that, you know.
Well, I think the thing for me is I regret more than anything. I regret the way I treated people, not myself. I don't really think of me that much. I think of, like, if you said, I've said it on the podcast however many times. I got wine drunk at a weird fucking networking event, and I wasn't super kind to the dude who was driving us around. Now, again, he did say he had been into 17 accidents and he shouldn't have a license.
It was 12.
12 accidents. Hey, still too many. And I was wine drunk and I was trying to be funny, and in retrospect, I was being disrespectful. I remember that.
Well, you were being funny at his expense, and
Yes.
also, I mean, good for you for calling something out. I mean, we shouldn't have been in that car. We shouldn't have been in that car.
But
okay, so why do you regret that? Because you were out of alignment with the character you aspire to.
because I knew I should have done better. I knew I should have done better.
Okay, well, what if that's how I feel with the things that I'm hard on myself for?
I'm willing to bet it is.
And other people might say what I just said to you of, oh, Kev, no, that's okay. Listen,
Well,
I appreciate it, but
yeah, that's the conversation. It's okay for you, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm not going to make that right. I'm not going to make that wrong. It's okay. Just like making a certain amount of money is okay for someone and doesn't feel okay for somebody else. Just like being in a certain type of relationship feels okay for someone and it doesn't. It's standards, and it's up to me to uphold my standards. Because Alan's point, nobody else is going to uphold. Nobody else can consistently uphold my standards for me. That's never going to happen. And if it does, that is either going to be a miserable relationship you're in with someone, or you're going to have a coach. And that's the coach part is probably a positive way. But you can't rely solely on somebody else for your own growth. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. But it's standards. It's standards. I think I have a higher standard for the way I treat other people than I do myself. Most likely.
definitely.
Because I think I don't even know. My standards for the way... I think my standards for the way I treat myself are already fairly high. But I think the way I treat other people is just higher. Because that's important to me.
I think that's you and I's self-worth stuff.
Because it's possible.
I was that way for the longest time. You'd hear the golden rule. And again, back to alignment, treat others the way you want to be treated. I always said, hell no, treat them better than you want to be treated. And then there's actually another iteration of this that Emilia brought up, which is treat them how they want to be treated. But that requires you get to know them. Alignment, standards, goals, self-belief, future self, past self, current self. This is a lot of stuff. Okay. My next level lesson. If you have higher awareness of what you are capable of and what is possible in the world, I believe you will have higher self-belief because you'll aim higher and then work on it and then build it. The higher your self-belief, the higher your goals. The higher your goals, the higher your standards have to be to achieve them. And when you go toward those goals, you're going to face inevitable adversity, and then you're going to learn more about yourself and the world. And this is one of the things about failure that's so brutal, because if life was a video game, this is how I think it's set up.
I love where we're going here.
If life was a video game, and we were all characters in a video game, and the goal of the video game is to grow your character as much as possible and to achieve as many accolades as possible. Okay. Quests. You'd have to go on quests to get trophies or whatever, or character traits. Who would win the video game? The person who would quote-unquote win the video game is whoever did the most quests and learned the most about their character, and on those quests faced the most monsters or adversity to get stronger and better and smarter each quest. And I was on a podcast recently, and my background has a lot of awards and stuff on it. And I know that for a lot of people that comes off very pretentious and arrogant and all that stuff. And I said, I know that this background can come off wrong to people. And the reason why I haven't taken it down, even though we've talked about it, is because I adore achievement. I don't think I adore achievement for the reasons people think I do. It's not, I don't have this trophy behind me for anyone else. I have this trophy behind me because that took so much. At one point, that was a dream. And I had to grow as a human being to achieve that. I was freaking out. I had to face fears. I was the leanest I'd ever been. I had to suffer and struggle and sacrifice. I had to reach out to coaches. I had to have mentors. I had to have a posing coach. I became more. And I actually became more on the failures behind it. The 5th and 4th place trophies, I became way more trying to do those. But the only reason I got the 4th and 5th place trophies is so I could win. And eventually I did, and then I lost again. But it's not about the trophy. It's about who I became. And so back to the video game analogy, people who don't want to achieve much, they don't have to become much. And it's unfortunate, but it is true. Emilia is a super achiever. She's my beautiful partner. She's unbelievable. And people would come to me and say, like, I want a partner like that. And it's like, I wasn't even capable enough to be with a woman like this. She's 30 years old. I'm 36. The 36-year-old version of Alan has been on enough quests, has learned enough about himself and others in the world, has worked on himself enough to be in a relationship with her. But me at 30, no chance could I be with her at 30. Okay? And what you do achieve in life in the real world, not in the social world. In the social world, you can fake it and you can pretend your character's better than it is, and the economy and business and all this stuff, and you can take advantage of people and you can lie through your teeth and all that. But in the real world, when you step in that ring, you are strong, smart, and capable or not. And that's what I think real confidence and self-esteem is, and I think that's what people actually want.
I would say that was an epic monologue, number one, strong work. And I would second that. I would second that. Unfortunately, I think most people don't see the behind the scenes stuff that goes into getting it. And that's why there's so many shortcuts, so many advertised shortcuts. I think that's a big piece of it, is, again, people just show up into your view. But they've always been here doing stuff behind the scenes, but now you just see them, and for the first time you're exposed to them. It's like, holy shit, good for them. Like, well, yeah, but I mean, this is like year 10. It wasn't good for them for the first 9 years. It was still good for them because hopefully they were fulfilled in what they were doing, but it's very weird. We only have a certain level of vision where we can see a certain level of things, and when things pop in, it looks to us like that's the first time they've ever been there. And no, it's the first time they've ever been there for us. They've been there forever. You travel somewhere, go see the Coliseum. I've never done it. I'd love to. It's been there for a long fucking time. That's why people want to go see it, because it's been there for so long.
You can see more than you used to see, right? I mean, you can see how the world works. You step into a business and you know how it works now.
Yeah, but I'm not even from a business perspective. Just like, I feel like I have a pretty good idea. Again, this will be a dream for me that will happen eventually. I just don't know when. I want to start a thing where I'm able to invest in podcasters. Like, hey, I'm going to take care of a year's worth of whatever. We're going to produce it. You're going to get a X amount of dollar scholarship, $10,000 scholarship, hypothetically. Because I have a pretty good understanding of what type of people win. And those are the people I really like and I really respect and I really enjoy working with. Most of all, not that I don't like and respect many different types of people, but I like working with those people the most. That will require me to have a deeper understanding of what it takes to succeed.
And you will help them align better than they can align themselves. That's why you're a podcast coach.
Well, and that's
because
why
your consciousness in podcasting is higher than theirs, so you can help them aim higher, align better, and get to a higher part of the mountain that you've been able to see.
It's super fulfilling. That's the part that I think a lot of people. I don't ever want to be the guy who doesn't answer a question if somebody messages it to me, because it's so fulfilling to help.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before, like how fulfilling it is to help someone.
That's the best.
It's maybe the most
assuming
fulfilling
they're
thing
great
ever.
people. Yeah.
Yes. And assuming you're abundant enough to do it. That's
Yeah.
a whole, that's a whole nother, that's probably
I would-
more of a business episode, but
I would much rather be so abundant that I have to cut off the helping
yeah.
than so scarce that you can't even help. But
100%.
yeah, this is a good conversation for the listeners. Alignment is predicated on your current level of awareness. So if you're a 10 out of 10, this is the best you've ever been. That's great. Now go learn, and then you'll realize that your 10 is actually a 9, and now you have some tweaks.
I think it's my next level lesson would be add it's ever been or so far after your statements. I'm the best I've ever been. Awesome. Good. Cool. This is the best it's ever been. Awesome. Love that. That's great because that creates an opportunity for growth. It creates room for growth. Am I the best podcaster I've ever been? Yes. Awesome. Am I the best husband I've ever been? Yes. Awesome. Does that mean I'm done? No. And I will theoretically never be done. But here's the hard thing. That is a commitment because there are a lot of people who aren't the best versions of themselves right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, unfortunately.
This is a
You and I in fitness aren't the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah. And that's
the
visual.
one thing that hasn't gotten better, and that's why it bothers me, because I feel like we stand for people who want to get better.
I'm back, and we're going to see. I'm making a run. Now, again, from a more well-rounded place, I think I will be healthier. Will I be as lean as I once was? That ain't going to happen.
Well, you know the quote.
I don't.
I ain't as good as I once was.
But I'm as good once as I ever was.
Exactly.
It is about sex. My wife told me that. And that I think that whole song, that whole country song is about sex. So he's saying, I'm not nearly as good as I was when I was a young buck, but you give me one shot, I'll be good. Pretty much. Maybe the best I've ever been, I think is what he's saying. Doesn't make any sense logically when you think about it, but who am I? You all right over there?
Yes. It's been a week. Yes. I'm grateful to be on a podcast and in a community of people who want to get better.
Same.
I think it's awesome. And again, it's a mountain that gets higher as you climb it. And that's what that person was saying. Asymptotic equation. Asymptote is you get closer and closer and closer to 100%, but you never get there.
That's how I know that person's smarter than I am.
They know math better than you.
The fact that I thought asymptote was just a thing, I didn't know there was an asymptotic equation.
Mm-hmm.
Asymptotic, whatever it is, equation. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a cool message to get.
I can imagine. All right, is there anything you want to... I feel like I just kind of want to hang out on the mics, maybe do like a full 24 hours or something.
Alignment.
Nice. Very, very powerful.
Yeah. Are you aligned right now with your highest self, with your best version of you? And if the answer is no, why not? And then you're going to come up with answers. What was the thing recently that you didn't realize? Oh, you were doing mobility before your workouts. And then you became aware that that was detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
So you went from what you thought was a 10 back down to a 9, and now you're tweaking. That's what growth is. That's what personal development is. It's, and I look back, man, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, some of the stuff I said on Facebook. I mean, you're just ignorant when you're young. You don't mean to be.
No,
So Alan version 3.6, Kevin version 3.5, we will be, much more aware. We'll have a deeper understanding when we're older. And you just that's the journey. That's the journey. And that way life can get better, not worse. Life can get better. Last piece, I promise.
Oh, boy.
Brother, I worked at a golf course.
Yes.
Way back. Cart kid and a bus boy. I used to bake those biscuits like you never believe.
I don't know. I was never a golf guy, so I don't know much about the biscuits.
The biscuits were, I burnt them once. I had them thrown at me. It was not good. It was bad time. I was such a miserable human being. There was this woman named Jess who she was dating one of the cooks, and I could not get her to even look at me, never mind talk to me. And I had the biggest crush on her. And back in those days, I remember thinking, like, one day, I'm going to understand how all this works. One day, I'm going to be a man of value that she would not overlook. And I think that's awesome. You know, we are all capable of that. It's worked very nicely. Things are good. She wouldn't overlook me now. That's for sure.
See that, Jess? You fucking missed out. That's on you. That's on you.
But at the end of the day, I think about that. I think about stepdad left, written off. And
well, you like it. There's a little piece of you that likes it.
For sure. Try to tell me I can't do it. But the point I'm making, at the golf course, everyone would always come over to me and say, Alan, these are the best years of your life, man. These are the best years of your life. Cherish these. These are the best years of your life. Bull fucking shit. My life was terrible.
I'm not laughing at the terrible.
I know. I was so mad. I was like, no chance. If this is the best there is, I don't want it.
I think they were the simplest. In a way.
For them, it was the best years of their life.
Well, yeah.
And granted, now in hindsight, I would never take a lick of advice from these people. But at the end of the day, they probably lived their heydays in high school and their life never got any better. But the truth is, they never got any better. And dude, 36 is way fucking better than 26. It's way better than 16. Exponentially better. But that's why personal development is so important. Because when you get better, you become more capable. And now you can build a better life.
If I don't go feed my cats, they're going to bust in here and rip my face off. They're currently in the process of getting under the door.
I would love to see that.
I'm stronger than they are by a little bit, but
I want that to be the thumbnail.
Together,
that would be great thumbnail.
If they come in, I'll take a picture with them in the thumbnail. Anything else quickly?
No, man, all good.
Okay, cool.
You?
No, this was a deep one. We were all over the place. We barely talked about alignment, but everything was about alignment. So I feel like it was very hyper-conscious. I love these episodes.
Same.
I love these episodes. If you like content like this, if you're into growth, if you're into evolution, if you want to get more aligned, we have an event on April 5th, 2025 from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tickets. I know what you're thinking. All-day event. It's got to be an arm and a leg. No, you'd be incorrect. It's only $47 for a ticket but wait, there's more. With the purchase of your ticket, you get access to the replay. So if you have a life on a Saturday, unlike Alan and myself, you can pop your head in, see what it's all about, and then go about your day, and then you can watch the replay at a later time. I know I'm very jokey right now, but yeah, this is going to be the best event we've ever hosted because the content is the best it's ever been because we are the most aligned we've ever been, and our awareness is higher than it's ever been. So if you would be interested in joining us, we'd love to have you.
It is not $47 because it is not our best stuff. We could have charged way more. We want you to be able to come. Join us and DM Kevin or myself on Instagram if you have any questions.
Boom. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. At NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.